York, you can hear me, right? I'll be with you soon. I'm not sad. Honestly, I can't wait. It's all I think about lately. I mean, we'll be together again. We'll get to discuss movies, food again. Everyone around here has bad taste. They don't understand things the way we do. It's a shitty world filled with shitty people. Oh, that reminds me. There are movie theaters and restaurants over there, right? As soon as I get there, let's go grab some peanut butter hamburgers and yogurt smoothies. I'm so excited, York. Please, York, don't rush me. You just need to wait a bit longer. I still have one job left to do. I need to finish it. I have to. Or else I'd never be able to face you. Just give me a little more time, okay?
So, Lisa's mother, Galena Clarkson, confessed to murdering Lise. But then immediately afterwards, she went insane. So you had no choice but to detain her. What a terribly convenient story. You were the first person to find the suspect hiding at a farm on the edge of town. And you even got her to confess to the crime, right then and there. Did anyone else get a chance to hear Galena's confession?
Only us.
How did you even find that shack in the first place?
Metaphysical offender profiling.
Meta what? Should I know this word?
Metaphysical offender profiling. The term appears 6 times in the Le Carre report and 14 times in the 2010 Greenvale report. As long as you're solving cases, the people in charge don't really care what sort of words you use. But we're different. You utilized a highly abnormal method to instantly hone in on a suspect. Then you did it again and again. And every time you used it, one term kept appearing in your files. Metaphysical offender profiling. Mr. Morgan, would you mind explaining to us what this term means?
We could try. But no matter what words we used, you'd never be able to understand. You see, it doesn't pertain to this side. Come, my fairy. Stop hiding back there and give them the explanation they so desire. What? You're too shy?
Mr. Morgan? Mr. Morgan!
Come on out. Don't be afraid. You can do it. It's okay. Come on. Come on.
Is that all you have to say? Don't underestimate me, Morgan. I know you and the Clarksons share a deeper connection. Much deeper than how it appears on the surface. I need to shake him with something else that's directly connected to the Clarksons. I'm gonna jog his memory by force. Reading over it again, I can't help but notice how well organized this report is. One might even call it perfect. Except some parts have been redacted in an extremely suspicious way. Why are all these places blotted out? Mr. Morgan, I noticed that several parts of this report have been redacted. For example, here. One individual's name has been erased from the key figure list. Would you mind telling me why?
Someone in charge must have thought it was unimportant, or maybe even inappropriate.
Why would they think that?
How should we know? We've never understood what those people do.
Well, I took the liberty of trying to restore what was taken out. Normal ink was used to blot it out, so I was able to recover part of it. Here's what it says. Sapling salesman. All the other redacted parts seem to be connected to this person. But I can't think of a single reason why this individual would need to be removed from the report. Why is he so untouchable?
Oh, him. He's nothing. We were barking up the wrong tree.
Meaning?
Can't include someone who doesn't exist in an official report, now can we?
Doesn't exist? You mean he had nothing to do with the case?
Yeah, you could say that.
Those letters look very old. The postmark suggests they were sent out from Louisiana. And I suspect that dragonfly mark belongs to the Clarkson family.
Maybe. So what if it does?
A stalker has been harassing Patricia Clarkson for several years now. Did you know about this? Constant silent phone calls, unmarked letters. She also spotted a suspicious figure lurking near her mansion several times. And just last week, her employees spotted a strange figure lurking in the vicinity. The day someone else coincidentally used your alias and traveled to Louisiana.
That's very intriguing. Aligned symbolism.
Lise Clarkson also reported being harassed by a stalker just before she was murdered. You're aware of this, correct? Because I didn't find any mention of this in your report.
No direct connection to the case. That's what we must have thought.
The visionary lies to himself, the liar only to others. Which are you?
That's enough for now. This all has nothing to do with the case. Besides, there's no evidence that proves those letters are from her. Isn't that right, my fairy?
Someone stole Lisa's body and it's been missing for the past 14 years. I find it hard to believe that it was simply hidden in that cold storage warehouse the entire time. Why wasn't a more detailed investigation carried out? Mr. Morgan, according to you, at the beginning of this case, the victim's body was being stored in the warehouse on purpose. Is that the truth? They really put her body there alongside food and other perishables?
It's in the report.
No. The report only says it was stored using the most effective and shockingly inhuman method possible.
If you can think of a better phrase, we're all ears.
The report isn't wrong, you know. In fact, that might actually be the most accurate way of describing it. It's precise, and it's also kinda poetic, you know?
Wow, Simon. We never would have taken you for a poet.
Right?
You two think this is a joke? Lise Clarkson's body was discovered in that cold storage warehouse after 14 long years. If you'd only done a proper investigation, we probably would have found her much sooner. That poor girl.
We still regret the fact that we never got to meet her. We're sorry from the bottoms of our hearts.
I only hope it didn't happen that way by design.
Will you comfort me? Thank you, my fairy.
I knew it wouldn't go that easily. Maybe I should try asking my questions in a different way. I could use Agent Jones here. Films teach us all we need to know? That's ridiculous. I'd rather read a book than watch a stupid movie.
It's bugging you, isn't it, Aaliyah?
Huh? What?
I get it. It's even got my heart racing a little. I mean, look at this. Nothing but DVDs. Not a single Blu-ray in sight, just pure, unadulterated DVDs. And he's got VHS tapes, too. I don't even have a VHS player in my house anymore. Whoa, look at this. Check it out. This one's got a lot of pizza in it, remember?
You're not wrong, Simon. There's a very large quantity of pizza in that film. 1987, directed by Mel Brooks. The version on that tape is the one we recorded back when you could catch it on cable TV.
Seriously? Damn, Morgan, that's incredible. You're really living the dream, man.
I hope you both haven't forgotten that this conversation is also being recorded. That's the window that faces the street out front. I can tell just from the layout of his furniture. Now I'm surrounded by everything I couldn't see out there. This is a nice building. Layout isn't bad either. Whew. Must be rather expensive to rent a place like this in Boston. How many other rooms are there in this apartment? That room over there, your bedroom?
Huh. Why so curious, Belle? It almost sounds as if you're seeing this place for the first time. Aside from the hardware shop on the first floor, every apartment in this building has the exact same layout. We're well aware that you studied the layout of this apartment before you came to see us. There's no need to act so roundabout. Just be honest. Say it. I want to see your bedroom.
Well then?
Doesn't mean we'll let you see it, though.
Agent Jones is completely checked out. Despite the fact that we're heading deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole here. Agent Jones! Are you paying attention? Or do you intend to waste Mr. Morgan's precious time?
No. Sorry. I'm just a little tired. I'm listening.
Take your hand out of your pocket. Didn't they teach you any manners at Quantico?
Oh, right. Guess they slipped my mind. My bad. I'm actually kinda nervous. I'm not used to this sort of thing. Data analysis is my specialty, you know. I'm sure I'd be able to calm down a bit if I had some pizza, though.
The FBI needs to do something about their lack of personnel. I'll have to ask the questions myself. But how should I start? Maybe I should look back over the files and calmly reassess the situation. An elegant antique lighting fixture. And most of his other furniture is of the same quality. Why is his room such a mess, then? This is why, instead of calling him a dangerous person, they've labeled him a high-functioning sociopath.
Just the usual around here, no need to worry.
The usual?
Yes. A strange person lives upstairs. Every now and then, he makes noise.
What's strange about him?
Several years ago, a woman was murdered upstairs. Her husband still lives there.
Yikes.
He's ex-BPD, and apparently he's still searching for the killer. But it seems like they cut all support for the investigation due to decreased funding. The team on the case wanted to keep working on it, but the suits wouldn't hear of it. A tale as old as time. Due to his situation, perhaps, he's been making a lot more noise recently. Like you just heard.
You never noticed anything, Agent Jones.
Well, I did hear some loud noises every now and then. But I didn't think they were real noises coming from upstairs. I mean, look at him. It's not like he's reacting to the noise. He always just went about his business as usual for all the years I've watched him. So I just figured it was coming from the TV.
You really amaze me sometimes. So far, everything checks out with the report. But there were always some parts of the report that didn't make sense. He expects me to believe he just happened to solve a case this difficult while he was on vacation? And metaphysical offender profiling? I won't let him distract me with his fancy made-up words. After you arrested Galena Clarkson, you had a run-in with the Clarksons. At least that's what it says in the report. What exactly happened there?
Just a simple run-in, that's all. Nothing but a single phenomenon. Chasing hollow instances like that won't lead you closer to the truth. Truth doesn't work like that.
A hollow phenomenon, which resulted in a mountain of corpses.
Oh, Belle. We think we finally understand what you're trying to say. But don't be so voracious. How about another cup of coffee? We've still got a long way to go, you know. Yes, it's coarsely ground, so there should only be 4 teaspoons per cup. No more, no less. Next, the coffee travels from the funnel to the siphon. Simon, normally you only do surveillance in order to gather data, correct? Hiding microphones and cameras, sifting through garbage, wiretapping, shadowing, tracing credit card histories. You'll do whatever it takes to gather data in order to prevent crimes. That's how the FBI works.
Well, yeah, you're right. No reason in hiding it now, I guess. Why do you ask?
Our Southern Belle has adopted a very peculiar MO. It's almost like she has a special power, just like us. You've been watching us this entire time, haven't you, Belle? From that window.
I don't need to answer that question.
You came here on New Year's Eve, then spent 49 hours watching us until you returned to your hotel room last night. You observed us the entire time without sleep or rest. And you only ate once, some pizza delivered by Simon. Aside from that, you never drank any water or relieved yourself. You simply sat there and continued to watch us. You have visions, too, don't you? You came here solely to hear us talk, didn't you? But then, why bother watching us for over 2 days beforehand? You didn't come to talk with us. You came because you wanted to see this apartment with your own eyes. And because you're already convinced of something. Isn't that right? He who fights with monsters should see to it that he himself does not become a monster. And if you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you.
But I...
Oh. Coffee. Thank you, my fairy. If you hadn't been paying attention, this coffee would have all gone to waste. The pus in our brains. It really has a way of interfering with our lives. I didn't remember when she came along. No, what's... Coffee. Yes, coffee.
What the Christ? This is friggin' delicious. I thought I was gonna shit myself for a second there. Come on, Aaliyah, take a sip. Trust me, I'm not exaggerating here.
I don't believe it. It's better than any coffee I've ever tasted.
Of course it is. Coffee is a sacred drink. Coffee saved us. If not for its oracle, we would be on the other side right now. So I never forget to pay my respects to coffee. Especially at critical moments like this.
Big black cumulonimbus clouds are in the sky. And that sound. Thunder snow is coming. Does Agent Jones need pizza in order to calm down? Why does he hate being out in the field so much? He knows we need to be on our absolute guard against this guy. Why can't he just pull it together?
Come on, don't glare at me like that, Aaliyah. I told you I'm out of my element here, remember?
This isn't the time or the place.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm just really nervous. I mean, Morgan's a legend. And now he's right in front of us, and things are all tense. I'm sure it'd give any normal agent a stomachache.
Incidentally, Simon, why did you decide to stop working out in the field?
Don't ask. It's a long story.
I don't mind. We have lots of time, don't we? I could even make you another cup of coffee, if you like.
Fine then. I'll try to make it brief. See, I used to work out in the field. Even had my own partner. But we had a little rivalry that sorta ruined our relationship. It was over a woman, of course. You know how it goes. We fell in love with the same girl. At the same workplace, too. Then one day, the three of us went to go do a stakeout at a restaurant over in East Boston. I pretended to be a customer while my partner waited in the car, and she waited in the building across the way. Well, it only took a few minutes for my partner and I to lose our heads. We started engaging in this dumb contest to see who could impress her more. Things were looking bad. I knew I was gonna lose. Then, something happened. Right in front of me, a customer starts choking on something. Face was pale, froth at the mouth, the whole 9 yards. I got up at once, but my partner stopped me. Didn't want us to blow our cover. So what did I do? I ignored him. Helped the guy anyway. I couldn't stand by and watch that. I couldn't help myself. Next thing I knew, I was a hero. The guy survived, the restaurant thanked me, and I'd even managed to win the heart of you-know-who. It felt pretty good, you know, one-upping my partner right in front of his very eyes. But that was the beginning of the end. A few days later, she and I went to go get some bubble tea at a cafe in Brookline. And a man comes up to me and said,
I'm here to thank you on behalf of the person you saved in that restaurant.
Feeling a bit cocky, I said, all in a day's work, my good man, and tried to brush him away. But he held out an envelope to me and said,
My client broke 3 ribs thanks to the unnecessary Heimlich maneuver you administered to him. He wants you to ensure that he'll be able to get the proper treatment.
I thought I'd saved someone. But all I ended up doing is wasting a lot of my precious time wrapped up in an astronomically stupid court case. It also blew our cover, so our target found out about us. In the end, I was taken out of the field and banished to a meaningless job that anyone with half a brain could do. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Anyway, well, that's what happened. Of course, I also lost the love of my life and went back to being a lonesome loser. And that's why I hate being out in the field. Oh, come on! I tell you all that and you're not even gonna say anything?
That was long, Simon.
Hey, I warned you! I told you it'd be long! Oh.
Looks like Agent Jones is actually mad about something for once. But he got what he deserved. I mean, showing off during an investigation? Competing with another FBI agent? I'm surprised he was only transferred. Agent Jones, I'm sorry for not responding to your story. It was just so bizarre. I wasn't sure what to say.
Sorry that the greatest trauma of my life ended up being too bizarre for you.
Well, what do you expect? All you ever talk about is pizza or hitting on women? Honestly, it offended me. I felt like I was listening to a teenage boy tell some misogynistic conquest story.
Whoa, Aaliyah, hold on a minute here. Despite how I may seem to you, I am actually pretty popular with the ladies. And you know that coworker of mine? She's the one who came on to me. Besides, I only told that story because a certain someone asked me to. It's what happens when you're a popular guy.
Is this all some big joke to you? I'm really losing my patience here.
You simply have yet to awaken to my masculine charm. Maybe you should try getting some more experience under your belt.
Agent Jones, are you trying to get me to sue you for sexual harassment?
He's digging his own grave. Isn't he, my fairy?
Aw, come on, Morgan, not you too. I'm sure a guy like you can tell why women might find me attractive.
What's that supposed to mean?
I just mean, you know, imagine it for a minute. A woman who you wouldn't necessarily call beautiful, yet still possesses some unique charm. You see women every now and then who you wouldn't mind spending a night or two with, right? And I'm like the male version of that. Come on, you know what I mean. Some women just prefer a man who's a little below the norm. And they're usually with a different guy each time you see them. From straight-laced businessmen to gold chains and fake tans. They prefer buffet style, you know? Anyway, my point is, we've all got this special kind of sex appeal.
I couldn't even keep track of all the sexist remarks you made just now.
Hey, just cool it for a sec, would ya? We're having a guy conversation here. This is all just strategy I'm using to try and loosen Morgan up. Trust me.
If he actually had a hand in this, it would explain why Lisa's body was left frozen for all that time. The body wasn't stolen. It wasn't that he couldn't find it. It's definitely a possibility. Why would an agent as skilled as you close the Lise Clarkson case without locating her body?
Good question. Maybe we just weren't as skilled as you think back then. Isn't that right, my fairy?
You reported the body as being stolen. Was that truly the case?
Meaning?
Meaning there's a possibility that the body wasn't stolen, but purposefully moved instead. Maybe someone ordered someone else to get rid of the body, or even store it in a specific place.
But who? And for what purpose?
In order to use the body for something else. You never considered that? Perhaps there's some connection between the frozen body and the fact that Sang Rouge is still being produced.
Hey, Aaliyah, how about explaining yourself clearly so that even I can follow along?
Someone extracted the ingredients to Sang Rouge from Lise Clarkson's body. That's what you're trying to say, isn't it, Belle?
So that they could go on producing the inimitable drug without Professor R.
What?
Drug addiction destroys people, physically and mentally. It makes them capable of doing anything just so they can get their hands on a fix. Abusing a corpse? That's nothing to an addict. And with your dependency, I suspect you might know just what that's like.
Maybe we do. If you threaten to take this away from us, I might have to kill you both right here. And steal all your $100 bills. Oh, spine-tingling, scary stuff, isn't it, my fairy?
You sure got a twisted sense of humor there, Morgan.
Ominous. It's almost like a manifestation of the atmosphere in this room right now. Do you hear that thunder? It's probably gonna snow soon.
We're in Massachusetts. That's the norm for this time of year.
Well, I'm not used to the cold. If possible, I'd like to finish this up before we get stuck in a snowstorm. Agent Jones, after we're done here, Agent Jones, is something the matter? Snap out of it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I know.
Do you? Then stop daydreaming.
Okay.
You just what?
My stomach's been letting some thunder loose, too.
Thunder?
That coffee was just so good,
It what? We don't have all day here.
The coffee was just so good, it summoned forth a massive tsunami from within me.
Excuse me? What is wrong with you? Now is really not the time for this.
Right door at the end of the hallway.
Thanks, pal. Hold on. You can make it. We can do this. It's not very far.
We promise you, we did not put laxatives in the coffee. Coffee is a sacred drink, remember?
Motherfucker. There's no doubt that the report omitted information linking Morgan to the Clarksons. I need to get him to confess. Oh, yeah. There's a secret weapon in Agent Jones's briefcase. He's chain smoking it non-stop. He's clearly dependent on it. Which means he might be dependent on other drugs as well. Mr. Morgan, I heard that you were always a smoker. Did you ever wonder if that was the reason you contracted your illness?
What does that have to do with this case?
Nothing. I'm just personally curious about it.
Sometimes People die in car accidents, regardless of how well they take care of their health. Other times they slip on their bathroom floors and crack open their heads. Isn't that right, my fairy?
I'm not concerned with statistics. I'm just curious about you, right here, right now.
We switched over from nicotine to this. It's less addictive. That's one step in the right direction, isn't it?
Perhaps, if we're talking about withdrawal symptoms or physical dependencies. But it still seems like you're smoking too much at once. Honestly, it looks to me like you have a mental dependency.
Maybe. But so what if we do?
Surely you know about gateway drugs, yes? When a person starts to use one drug, it becomes much easier for them to branch out and try other drugs as well. The first drug acts as the gateway that leads them to stronger substances.
Oh. Are you trying to say that's going to happen to us?
No. I'm simply saying there's a possibility. Agent Jones probably won't be back for a while. Actually, now might be my opportunity to make some real progress. Have you ever seen this before? And please, don't say no.
Sang Rouge. The drug we once chased. What about it?
Sang Rouge is still circulating. It's changed shape and its composition is slightly different now, but it's still very much alive. But only in a very limited part of Louisiana. You aren't surprised? Did you somehow know this would happen?
Copies of another drug being circulated isn't exactly a rare case.
But Sang Rouge is special. The inimitable Enigma powder, the origin. It has many names, and no one was ever able to copy it. We've also been trying to figure out what it's made from ever since it appeared. But it's impossible to analyze. After all, it appears to be made from common ingredients that can be found anywhere. But if you try to use those ingredients, all you'll end up with is a mundane hallucinogen like DMT. If you're lucky. No. Sang Rouge requires a special recipe. The original recipe, which someone's been guarding this entire time. Someone who survived the incident in Le Carré. He read these over and over again, like a prisoner rereading letters from his loved ones. But the last letter was delivered years ago, according to this postmark. That must be the last time he communicated with whoever was sending these. Yet, he left them out in plain sight all this time. Immediately after they found Lisa's body, I went to go see Patricia. In order to interrogate her, of course.
So you told us.
But I was unable to meet with her.
She refused to speak with you, didn't she? That's so like her.
No, she didn't get the chance to. You see, she's gone missing.
What?
To put it more accurately, no one's seen her since the afternoon of the 28th. According to her employees, she shut herself up in her room for several months before she disappeared. But since that sort of thing happened often, they didn't think anything of it. On the morning of New Year's Eve, they noticed her window was open, and when they went up to check on her, she was gone. But no one knows how long her window had been open for. This is just my hypothesis, but on December 28th, a strange man visited Le Carré and was spotted near her mansion. That man must have found some way to lure Patricia into his car, the '89 Cadillac that he bought used. Then, The two of them drove north to Trenton, where they boarded a train to Boston. They would have arrived here around midnight on the 29th, or perhaps early morning on the 30th. I believe this man is the same Billy Bishop whose name was previously recorded by the airline. So, what do you think of my guess? I'd love to hear your opinion as a former FBI special agent.
Now we get it. We aren't persons of interest. We're the suspects. But what about our alibi?
What alibi?
I've had enough of your bullshit. You expect me to believe you haven't taken a single step out of this room? That Agent Jones is your witness? Surveillance cameras can easily be tampered with, especially by someone like you, who knows all about how the FBI works.
You're possessed by death. Go and take a look at your own face in the mirror. You look like the Grim Reaper. After you visited both Le Carré and Greenvale, you left a mountain of corpses in your wake. You can make all the excuses you want. I'm immune to them. Right here, right now, I want to know everything. You tell me the truth.
Yes! You're good, Bill. Damn good. You're brimming with potential. Don't you think she's the perfect partner for our last dance? What do you say, my fairy? Don't you agree? She's good. So good. What do you want to know? We've got nothing to hide. Go on. Question us. This is how it's got to be. Doesn't this remind you of something? You know what I mean, my fairy?
Son of a... How did this happen in my town? God damn it!
The head and limbs were severed and lined up, according to the lines that were drawn with her blood. Just like migratory birds flying systematically across the sky. Hey, Zach, what do you think this means?
They're severed roots.
Severed roots?
This is the way the Clarksons kill someone when they want to cut 'em off from the family.
And how do you know about this?
Everyone in town knows about it. They're just too scared to talk.
What does the V stand for, then?
Beats me. What, you think I know everything now?
Vilitatio. It means quarrel in Latin. That's what the V stands for.
Latin. Intriguing, isn't it, Zach? There are no defense wounds on the corpse. In other words, Galena showed no signs of resistance when she was amputated. But, strangely enough, there are small traces of subcutaneous bleeding around the wounded areas. That's a vital reaction, which means she couldn't have been dead.
You mean...
Yes, that's right, Patty. Galena was amputated while she was still alive, and she never resisted.
Is that even possible?
It certainly isn't impossible. For example, if she was put to sleep with a drug, or if she desired the amputation herself.
Why would she ever desire that?
Mr. York, I'm sorry, but there ain't no way that could have happened.
How can you be sure of that, Melvin? Our world contains phenomena that could never be explained with logic. This is especially true for phenomena in which humans are involved. Do you really think all the facets of love and hate can be explained with logic?
Well, no, I don't reckon I do. Yeah, might be too early to rule out those possibilities, just like you say.
Zach, now we truly know just how deeply the Clarksons are involved with this. Patty, how long does it take to reach the Clarkson estate?
Just a short drive. You just gotta head west along the Mississippi. You can't miss it.
Got it. Thank you, Patty. By the way, Melvin, no matter how accelerated Patty may be, don't you think she's still a bit too young to see something like this? For the record, I have no intent to instruct others on how to raise their children, but...
Holy moly, you're right! Patricia, CLG! Come on, sweetie. Kids shouldn't have to see stuff like this.
Daddy, it's too late now.
You sure you okay, CLG?
I'm fine. Besides, I'm used to seeing stuff like that on CSI. You're the one who looks pale, Daddy.
Well, it did shake me up a little, but I'll be back to normal in no time. Sorry about that, Mr. York. What say we rest in the interrogation room till we all calm down, CLG?
Sure thing, Daddy. I'm gonna go sit with Daddy for a bit, Agent York. We can join back up later.
Galena killed her daughter, so her family cut ties with her. Do you really think that's what happened here, Zach? If this is truly the ritual that the Clarksons use to cut ties with someone, why would they go out of their way to do it here, in a holding cell? They could have easily done it after we released her. And judging from how Danny Clarkson was acting, I think it's clear that he really loved Galena. How could he accept this grotesque butchering, even if it was for the sake of the family? There's no point in ruminating on this. We should get back to the investigation. As long as we keep moving, the answer will inevitably fling itself straight at us.
You found the flying serpent. But now, the flying serpent will come to find you.
Yeah, that sounds right. And it looks like this flying serpent is a venomous one.
Some become feasts, while others are eaten alive. Which fate would you prefer?
Both sound marvelous, but let me check with Zach.
A fine answer. Find the one who fired the pistol at heaven. Within the white hall of beds, brandish the ticket to the goddess. And once again, you will see the other world. Do you comprehend the oracle?
Zach, it looks like he's hell-bent on leading us back into that other world.
Follow the oracle.
Oh, I will, Hungan. There are only two types of things in our world. Things that should be resisted and things that should be accepted. And I believe this oracle is something to accept. Do you think we're crazy for believing everything that skeletal gentleman says? No, we're not crazy. Not one bit. This is our destiny, that's all. But I shouldn't need to explain that to you, Zach. The one who fired the pistol at heaven. Firing pistols at the sky might be a rather common occurrence for the South. Remember? Young Guns, 1988, directed by Christopher Kane. There's that great scene where Emilio Estevez keeps firing his Colt M1877 up at the sky. Oh, but that film took place in New Mexico, didn't it? And the Oracle probably isn't referring to a situation like that. It's got to be for some purpose other than an attack or a threat. Raising a pistol up to the sky, then slowly pulling the trigger, kind of sounds like the start to a race. Don't you agree, Zach? Bingo, Zach. We're currently running a race here. And the one who started this murder investigation is indeed the one who fired the pistol at heaven. In other words, the person who first discovered the body. According to the files, Lisa's body was discovered by Chuck Thompson, a crawfish farmer. He apparently works out of a fishing hut located in the marshes south of the bayou. Let's go pay him a visit. Who knows? We might even get to see some crawfish. What? Why isn't the murderer the one who started this race? Zach, this isn't like you. Of course the murderer isn't the one who started the race. The murderer's running it. They're currently in first place, and they're breaking all the rules. Any more objections, Zach? Within the White Hall of Beds. This one is even easier. There are only a few establishments that have a whole hall's worth of beds, especially in a small town like this. I'm sure you've already got a pretty good idea about what the answer is, Zach. Beds all lined up. Only an amateur would hear that and think it must be referring to a brothel. I mean, come on, who would ever use White Hall as a symbol for a bordello? No, a White House refers to the same place no matter what country you're in. You never disappoint me, Zach. It's a medical facility. They invite their patients into rooms full of beds where they're tended to by doctors and nurses clad in white. It's definitely a White Hall, where people are invited into beds. You always manage to impress me with your intuition. I'm really counting on you here, Zach, and I know I'll always be able to.
Agent York, you're trying to leave without your trustworthy assistant?
Hello there, Patty. I'd never attempt such a thing. I was simply engaging in a battle of wits with Hoongan while I waited for you.
Hoongan?
Yes, the skeletal gentleman in the top hat.
Not that story again. Is this how you always conduct your investigations?
This is the way I work.
I bet you can't find a single partner, not even in the entire FBI.
That's not true. I always work together with Zach.
Oh, right. Zach. Don't worry. I'll be your partner while you're here in our town. Now, let's go investigate.
How's your mama? So, you're that hotshot FBI agent I keep hearing about.
And who might you be?
I came to claim the body of my daughter. My daughter, who was murdered in a holding cell after you detained her yesterday.
Zach, I wasn't expecting to run into the final boss this early. You must be the head of the Clarkson family, P.J. Clarkson. And you've come to claim the body of Galena Clarkson, whose dismembered corpse was found early this morning. Is that correct? Where did you learn that Galena had been murdered? Zach and I just learned of the news ourselves.
This is Luke Corey. And I am P.J. Clarkson. There ain't a single thing I don't know about this town.
I see. So then you must also know about the Severed Roots ritual. I have a question for you, Philip. We suspect that Galena was murdered by someone from the Clarkson family. Have you given that possibility any consideration?
Listen up, you FBI piece of shit. You better watch your manners around my pa.
Shut up, Daniel.
But, sir... My bad, sir.
I'll have you know I once had 3 children. But I must not have raised them very well, because my son and my eldest daughter both ran away and never came back to me. The only one who stayed by my side was my second daughter, Galena. Then she done married Daniel here into the family and presented me with both an heir and a granddaughter. Seemed for a while as if things were finally starting to calm down. But then, someone corrupted both Galena and Lise. And I lost everything. Well, aside from my shit-heel son-in-law, that is. You understand me, FBI?
Galena's death is nothing but a loss for the Clarkson family.
That doesn't mean the Clarksons are automatically innocent, though. Humans don't always act out of self-interest, do they?
That mouth. You're starting to sound more and more like your mother. We're leaving, Daniel.
What? But my treasure...
Now, whether you end up being an angel or a demon, I reckon you're the man I've been waiting for all this time. Once you finish that autopsy, and we're clear to take her home, I want you to give me a call.
They're phenomenal, Patty. So perfectly rural. Ominous statements, foul-mouthed insults. This town possesses a complicated system of communication that you just can't find in the city. Work-centric emails are so cold and lifeless. This is what true human connections feel like. Connections as visceral as blood itself.
So, Agent York, what's next on your agenda?
The last boss may have gotten the jump on us, Patty, but I didn't let him shake my resolve. I intend to obey the skeletal gentleman's oracles, and that's that. First, we should head to either the home of the person who discovered Lisa's body or to the town's medical facility. Well, Zach, what do you think? Were you thinking about Galena, too? And all the other women we've seen so far on our travels across the states? Zach, I'm right, aren't I? This is a vast country. Incredibly vast. And it's mostly composed of mountains, deserts, and farmland, with small towns scattered about here and there. That's how America looks to me. Compared to the scale of this entire country, New York, Chicago, and LA are all microscopic. Sometimes they even feel like figments of my imagination. Think back to what Las Vegas looked like when we were driving up I-15. It was a mirage. But TV and movies dress up those mirages and broadcast them to people all around the world. Meanwhile, American women become fascinated by the gorgeous city lights and are drawn toward those illusions. The very same women who were chosen as prom queens in their small towns. In the end, all they find are ghosts. Once their eyes adjust to that blinding light, they realize there's nothing but vanity and lust surrounding them. They finally figure out that it was all in their heads. Then they quickly try to satisfy themselves with something else. Drugs. And drugs are the gateway to a whole pantheon of crime. Zach, remember what you told me once? The women who turn to crime aren't the evil ones. The drugs aren't evil either. They're nothing but chemicals. The ones who feed off those women and use them. They're the ones to hate. Let's go, Zach. We need to find the person who's hiding behind Galena and drag them out into the blazing southern sun. Okay, Zach. It's time to put our skills to the test. Well, Zach, it seems as if we've reached an impasse. I'm afraid we won't be able to proceed any further like this.
Lucari Tiger to DC Eagle? Is everything all right?
Hello, Melvin. Sadly, my darling just gave out on me.
Your darling? You mean...
Yes, that's right. My beloved skateboard. I know the chances are slim, but do you happen to know of any establishments in town that can repair skateboards? Please, I hope this doesn't offend you. Neither Zach nor I would ever dare to assume that a remote country town like this would have a skateboard shop in it. But perhaps you have at least one eccentric who likes to tinker with them in their spare time.
I know just the person. Double bass player by night, trick master by day. God blessed her with 2 talents, and her name is Emma Sanders.
Emma?
That's right. She's Pastor Sanders' adopted daughter, and was also Lise Clarkson's best friend. Emma really knows her stuff. She's got tools and a mountain of parts, so I'm sure she'll be able to help.
I owe you one, Melvin. Zach, I never thought we'd find our very own skateboard mentor out here in the sticks. Let's head straight to Emma. What is it, Zach? Why didn't I just ask the sheriff to tow away the old cars? But isn't it obvious? I want to overcome this obstacle using my own strength. In fact, I want to soar over it.
Hey, Agent York. I feel like someone's in there. Let's go and see.
Huh? What do y'all want? I'm kind of busy here.
Hi there. Are you Emma?
Yeah. Who are you?
Francis York Morgan. I'm an FBI special agent. Please call me York. That's what everyone calls me.
Agent York? So, what does the FBI want with little old me? I already told the police everything I know about Lise.
Emma, I haven't come here to talk to you about Lise. Although I suppose it's sort of connected in a way. My darling is broken, and I need you to fix her.
You call your board your darling? I never heard that one before. All right, let me see it. I'll try and assess the damage. I replaced all your trucks, wheels, and gave you some brand new deck tape. Also, you were missing a tail guard, so I put one on for you. That way you should be able to do a few tricks here and there without any risk of damage. Well, what do you think?
It's beautiful, Emma.
The wheels were scraped down and the base plate screws were all about to fall out. Oh, and the axles were also warped. It was pretty much in critical condition. Now, what I want to know is, how did it get that way?
Well, my car was stolen on my way here from Houston. So, I switched over to my darling and rode her here instead.
You know, you're crazier than you look.
Emma, would you mind answering another crazy question for me? I want to use this board to soar, literally. Would you mind teaching me a trick that would allow me to do so?
You mean you want to do a wally? Ooh, well, I'd be happy to teach you how, but it's too cramped in here. Oh, I know where we should go. You want to learn too? You sure? Seems like you're interested. Whatever. I know you're just gonna come along anyway. So you should at least learn the basics. Okay, Agent York. Now we should have enough room to practice. I'll show you how it's done first, then you just practice till you learn how to do it, okay?
Yeah. Thank you, Emma. I only learned that new trick thanks to your guidance. Now I'm sure that Zach and I will be able to reach our destination without any trouble at all. Thank you for assisting in the investigation.
Glad to be of service. If your board breaks again, or you feel like customizing it a bit more, just stop on by my workshop. I'm pretty much always there during the day. I'm also taking some time off school because of what happened with Lise. Skating and playing music are the only things that help me escape the pain of losing her.
Zach, did you see the expression on her face just now? She works hard to act cheerful, but she's yet another person who was hurt by the tragedy. Lisa's death is like wildfire, spreading embers of sadness throughout the entire town.
Hi, Agent York. Okay, let me take a look at your board. You mind if I tell folks about how I got to customize a board for an FBI guy?
Of course not. You're my mentor, after all.
Really? Thanks. I reckon it might help out whenever I decide to open up my own shop, you know? I bet it'll make me famous. Official choice of FBI special agents. I'm gonna name it Emma's Skateboard Workshop.
When that happens, I hope you'll expand and open up stores all throughout the U.S. Otherwise, I'll have to come down to Louisiana every time I need to fix up my darling.
You trying to butter me up with compliments?
Absolutely not, Emma. I'm serious. Your skills are top class. You figured out how I ride my board merely from the friction marks, then adjusted my trucks based on that. The wheel and bearing selection in your shop makes perfect sense to me. Your finesse with applying the deck tape was also impeccable. It's rare to find an artisan who thinks this deeply about her customers. I now understand why you call this a workshop rather than a garage. Emma, you should be more confident. Zach and I both guarantee that you possess true talent in your craft.
Agent York, you really believe I'm that talented? Wow, I'm so moved, I don't even know what to say. See you later. Oh, if you ever got any skateboard questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Hey, Agent York, are you sure you really want to talk to this guy? He kind of scares me.
Patty, there's no need to worry. Just hide behind me and you'll be fine. Chuck Thompson, you were the first person to find Lisa's body, correct? I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please, call me York. That's what everyone calls me.
Agent York. Seems like he ain't in the mood for talking.
Chuck Thompson, may I have a word with you? I'm looking for the one who fired the pistol at Heaven.
You trying to say I gotta aim up to shoot 'cause of my height?
Not at all. I was merely quoting the skeletal gentleman's oracle.
Skeletal gentleman? You ain't making a lick of sense. What do you all want anyway? What do y'all come here to waste my precious time for?
I'm currently running a race around town thanks to you, who fired the starting shot.
The murderer and I are competing to see who can cross the finish line first. Unfortunately, the murderer got a generous head start on me. If he gets away from me, I'll lose. But if I can catch up to him, then I'm sure I'll win. So please, Chuck, tell me, how did you find Lisa's body? Her body was hidden under a bridge on the bayou, very close to the Mississippi River. It's got to be at least a few miles away from your farm in this swamp, right?
Oh, the Clarksons are the folks who gave me the damn permission to farm crawdaddies here in the first place. Now, why the hell would I ever want to kill that little girl?
Then what were you doing out there?
You know, lately I've been seeing a queer boat around these parts. It ain't too big. Probably only holds 5 or 6, and it's got a deep draft. Assholes think they can just drive right through my turf, right through my dang crawdad farm.
So you gave chase, which led you to Lisa's body?
Yeah, that's right. Fucking poachers.
Where did the poachers go?
Oh, hell if I know. Fog was thick that day, thicker than usual. So I lose sight of them. The next thing I know, I'm under that goddamn bridge. Then I felt a chill run up my spine. And I knew. So I drove up to the bank and got out. And there she was, strung up on that there altar.
Did you know Lise personally?
Yeah, I knew her a little. She never showed me no disrespect, unlike the rest of those damn Clarksons. They so rotten I can smell it from here, same as the shit at the bottom of this here swamp. Heavy, heavy. Yeah. There was a little better when their boy Lenny was still around.
Lenny?
Yeah, Leonard, PJ's son. He never showed me no disrespect neither. And he's the one who gave me permission to farm here. But, well, ever since he left home, his whole family's gone straight down the shitter. Lisa was the only decent one left. She was wise, just like Lenny. Ain't right, I tell you. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Now I'm done talking, goddammit. Now go on, get the hell out of here.
Philip mentioned something about his son leaving home. That must be Lenny. Did you know about that, Patty?
Everyone in town knows about it.
By the way, Zach, do you remember what we saw when we were skipping stones? That boat with the dragonfly crest. Zach, no matter where we go in this town, we're constantly assaulted by information related to the Clarkson family. Just where is that skeletal gentleman trying to lead us? We successfully found the one who fired the pistol at Heaven. Now we need to visit the White Hall of Beds. You know, Zach, it almost feels like we're orienteering here. Doesn't it remind you of our training in Quantico? It really seemed like you knew who Galena Clarkson was.
Well, I've never actually talked to her, but it's a small town. Pretty much all folks know who the Clarksons are, and Galena's supposed to be extra scary compared to the rest of them. Back when we saw her in town, I felt like she was glaring right at me, so I got real scared. No one will come out and say it, but I'm pretty sure they're all relieved that she was the killer. We're lucky the killer ended up being a member of the Clarkson family. Otherwise, the whole town would have turned into a battlefield.
You've got a point, but did everyone really hate her that much?
They didn't hate her. She hated them. She had this real peculiar way of treating people. I don't know how to describe it.
Contemptful?
Yeah, I guess that's it. She never opened up to anyone in town.
She was rich, beautiful, and wanted to become an actress. So she went to a metropolitan city to refine herself. There's always a chance that people like her may develop prejudices towards those who stay in the countryside. A big chance, even. But just because a person has prejudices doesn't mean they'll go out and murder people. That's where my doubt lies. Was there any sort of omen which made people happy that she was the killer instead of someone else?
I'm just telling you how I feel. How am I supposed to know if everyone else in town felt the same way? I never thought she'd actually go and kill her own daughter, though.
There it is, Zach. It appears that her attempt to kill me wasn't simply a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Maybe she was sad.
Sad, perhaps. Instead of returning as a star, she was forced to come home after her dreams were crushed. That certainly sounds like a sad story, doesn't it, Zach?
No, Agent York, not that kind of sad. The kind of sadness that keeps folks away, hidden behind her attitude. Is there a word for that? Maybe it ain't in her attitude or her words, but the way she appears. Yeah, it's in her eyes. They remind me of someone.
Who? PJ Clarkson?
No, someone else. I can't remember.
That's okay, Patty. Just let me know if you happen to recall it later. Until then, Zach and I will help you think.
Hey, Agent York. Just so you know, dealing with Pastor Sanders is gonna be a big pain in the butt.
A big pain in the butt?
That's what I said. But I guess you have no choice but to obey your oracle, huh? I don't like hospitals.
Why not?
They soup folks up with medicine, cut 'em up, and then they try and act like they're your friends. Something ain't right about that, you know. It goes against the laws of nature. Plus, this is a church. So you got a pastor, a servant of God, actually playing God with his patients.
I think you have a point there, Patty. These days, we can neither determine death nor reproduce without the help of modern medicine. Yeah, our world's become quite an unnatural one. Oh, excuse me.
This is Lucare. You need to watch where you're going, or someone might end up tripping you.
Zach, it's her. The stylish woman who watched Lise die.
I've been waiting for you, lost lamb.
Hi there, Pastor. Would you mind letting go of me? I'm in a bit of a hurry right now.
So pitiful. The Lord hungers.
Here we go again.
What?
Pitiful. Truly pitiful, my little lamb.
No, neither Zach nor I...
Oh, so pitiful. So pitiful, just pitiful. The Lord hungers. 1 can of Spam, 1 can of red beans, and 1 can of spinach. You are to offer up the taboo trinity.
Taboo? Don't you mean the holy...
Oh, how I pity you. Unlike us humans, the Lord never errs. Now, my pitiful agent, bring forth the taboo trinity at once. For it is the will of the Lord our God.
See? I told you this was gonna be a pain in the butt.
But Zach and I need to go after that stylish woman.
Too late now. We need to obey God's will.
The Lord hungers!
Come on, hurry it up. We need to go.
Well, Zach, I don't know what to say. First an oracle, and now an order from God? Maybe this is the trial that will yield the ticket to the goddess. Either way, it looks like we have no choice but to gather the taboo trinity. I guess it just goes to show that small towns are always filled with the bizarre and unpredictable. You didn't even twitch when you saw Galena's body.
Why would I? Dead things can't hurt us, right?
Girls your age don't usually think that way.
Do you have kids, Agent York?
No, I don't. I'm not married either.
Then you have no idea how girls my age usually think. Besides, I'm used to seeing dead bodies thanks to CSI, especially dismembered corpses like hers. You know, for a so-called profiling professional, you're pretty clueless.
In that case, allow me to apologize. But don't you think it's a bit of a leap to discount my observational abilities simply because corpses don't scare you?
I don't know. I mean, you're completely wrong.
Do you know what I was thinking back there then?
Of course not. I'm not a pro.
The same goes for me, Patty. No manner of pro could ever know 100% of what another person is thinking, unless, of course, that pro has a mental connection with them, like Zach and I have. If I was telepathic, I wouldn't have joined the FBI. I would have taken over a small country or become a messiah.
Now who's making crazy leaps?
I will admit, though, Patty, I feel like you and I have something in common. We definitely have similarities, even though they aren't as strong as the ones that Zach and I share.
Whatever.
Perhaps you and I grew up under similar circumstances. We're both unique cases.
Huh? Unique cases?
In your case, your beautiful mother's second husband became your daddy, but then your mama got sick, forcing you to take care of things, while you used CSI as your escape.
Would you just knock it off? I ain't trying to act like some tragic heroine here. And I don't care that my daddy isn't the same color as me. You're way more narrow-minded than I took you for, Agent York.
Narrow-minded? You're just realizing this now? Of course I'm narrow-minded. I'm a selfish man who lives life according to his own rules, with no interest in common sense. Naturally, this makes me terrible at reading situations, and I often end up angering people by total accident. But is it really that big of a problem? I've still made a contribution to society by solving numerous difficult cases, and I'm still terribly charming. And I'm still terribly charming.
You and I have absolutely nothing in common. What kind of circumstances does a kid even need to end up like you?
Try asking Zach. It's not my place to answer that one.
Okay, hold on. Mr. York. Spam, huh? You a pot of meat kind of guy?
No, Melvin. I've simply gotten myself tangled up in a little mess.
Oh, I get it. Mr. York. The Lord hungers, right?
Yes, apparently the Lord is starving, and I'm a lamb with no sense of direction. Do you carry any canned goods here?
Canned goods? The vermin of the grocery store? Nay, I think not.
Understood, Mirror. Well then, if you'll excuse me.
Wait! I can see it. I can see the canned good thou seeketh.
How intriguing. Well then, where is the canned good I seek?
In a place where no man could ever peddle it.
I see. In a place where it can't be bought from a person. Got it, Mirror.
'Twas but a trifle. For the Lord hungers, doth he not?
Zach, it's in a vending machine. It appears that God wants us to go on a wild goose chase all around town. Zach, we finally found our can of spinach. Look, Zach. Even this vending machine is managed by Clarkson Food Delivery Services. But who in their right mind would sell canned goods in a vending machine in the middle of nowhere? I only hope that it's not expired.
The air out there don't feel right today. You feel it too, honey?
Is this place a bowling alley or a restaurant?
Oh my lord, what's wrong, honey? Can't tell the difference? It says restaurant right there on the outside.
How do you explain that then?
That's so the customers can bowl while they eat. Convenient, ain't it? If you want to bowl, honey, you'll have to ask Mrs. Carpenter to open up the lane for you. But if you just want to eat, then all you need to do is call my name. Got it? Oh.
Alexis, could I have some red beans and rice?
Oh, my Lord. Sorry, honey, but no can do. We only serve red beans and rice on Mondays. That's a meal you eat when you're busy, like folks usually are on Monday. It's been a tradition here in Louisiana for as long as I can remember. Wait, honey, don't tell me. You're the type who does your laundry every day? Oh.
Tradition, Zach. This is it. The Deep South. Louisiana. We need to obey tradition here and come back on Monday.
The air out there don't feel right today. You feel it too, honey? Oh, coming right up, honey. I'll put my heart and soul into it.
Alexis, would you mind keeping the red beans in the can? I'll pay the regular price, of course.
Oh, my Lord. Why don't you want me to take them out of the can?
They're for an offering, you see.
Oh, why didn't you say so? The Lord hungers.
Exactly. As you can see, I'm a pitiful lost lamb. Now I get it, Zach. This is nothing but a shameless fetch quest. Zach, we finally managed to assemble the Taboo Trinity. And it was certainly no small task. I just hope it rewards us with some data that will help us push this investigation forward. Okay, Pastor. I've brought you your Taboo Trinity. I'd like to exchange it for a ticket to the goddess.
Oh, how I pity you. You see, my dear lost lamb, our Lord still hungers. One anaconda skin, one squirrel tail, and one pressed white guara. This is what you must bring next.
Are you kidding me?
How pitiful. Our Lord never speaks in jest.
I told you this was gonna be a pain in the butt. Come on, we need to get going.
It looks like we'll need to work harder to get God's attention, Zach. Part of me just wants to say to hell with it and go have a smoke. You know, Patty, I just remembered something. When we met Philip in the sheriff's office, he mentioned your mother. What sort of history does Melvin have with the Clarksons?
What do you mean? The Clarksons know everyone in town, and everyone in town knows the Clarksons. This is Le Carre. That's all there is to it.
Zach, something isn't right here. I just hope the Clarksons don't have anything to do with her mother's illness. That's all I'm concerned about. Either way, the truth will reveal itself to us eventually. Just like it always has. It's a beautiful day, Patty.
Really? Seems kinda normal to me.
Now that you mention it, yes, it is a normal day. I just felt like saying that.
What? You know, sometimes you really get on my nerves.
Certain countries consider squirrel tails to be wards against demonic powers. Apparently, the tails quiver whenever evil draws near. So when people go out on journeys, they always carry squirrel tails with them. The fresher the tail, the higher its price. Hey, Zach. Remember this movie? 1997, directed by Luis Loza. Anaconda. The movie where the famous John Voight goes crazy with a rifle. Jennifer Lopez, Eric Stoltz. Even Owen Wilson and Ice Cube were in it. Is that an all-star cast or what? The scene in the beginning where Danny Trejo climbs up a ladder with a pistol in one hand is a must-see. It stole my heart within the first 5 minutes. Okay, back to the real world. We're on an important mission right now, aren't we? About 3 years ago, I met a man who had a pair of anaconda skin shoes. He said they were a trophy from a snake he hunted and skinned all by himself. Could you kill something and then wear its skin? I couldn't. No thanks. I fail to see any difference between that and a crazed murderer who carries pieces of his victims home with him. Ripping a squirrel's tail off its corpse is an eye-opening experience, Zach. I don't care if God commanded us to do this, it's pure butchery. But we'll just have to live with it. After all, humans are wild at heart. Zach, I never knew that following oracles was such back-breaking work. I really needed this cigarette. I think I'm on the verge of losing my mind. Now we just need to find one pressed white Gora. He was very clear that it had to be pressed. Do they sell pressed flowers in stores here? I think I'm stumped, Zach. Perhaps we better go ask our well-informed concierge for help.
Hey, let's chat.
Want to hear about all the depraved serial killers I've encountered so far?
No, thank you. Forget what I said. Ugh.
Okay, Zach. Let's go talk to our concierge. It'd be impossible for us to find a white Gora all on our own in such a vast area.
Welcome back, Mr. Morgan, sir.
Hello there, concierge. Do you mind if I ask you a question?
How may I help you, Mr. Morgan?
I'm in need of a pressed white Gora. Do you know of a store where I could find one?
The Lord hungers?
Correct.
Jolly good, sir. In that case, please ask our bellboy. His hobby is pressing flowers, so I'm sure he'll be able to assist you.
Got a minute, Chef?
What is it, mister? I got my hands full here.
Do you know where I might find a pressed white Gora?
Now, what did I tell you? I'm a professional chef. I don't flap my gums about any old thing. If you want to know about the town, you best ask our concierge.
May I ask you a question?
Sure, boss. What's cracking?
I need to find a pressed white Gora.
You like flowers, boss?
Well, not exactly, but it's the will of God.
The Lord hungers, huh?
Excellent, David. Way to cut right to the chase. Do you know where I might find one?
Sorry, boss. We only have one white Gora bush in our garden. Yep.
What's the problem?
Well, yesterday I picked them all and pressed them, see?
That's perfect. Would you mind giving one to me?
Sorry, boss. No can do.
What do you mean?
I used all the pressed flowers I made to decorate a very special spot, see?
What spot?
The bedroom on the first floor.
The bathroom.
Yes, sirree. So, I don't have a single pressed flower left now.
Well then, I'll just go and grab one from the bathroom.
I wouldn't do that if I were you, boss. Taking a pressed flower from a bathroom into church? Jesus ain't gonna like that. Sorry, but it looks like you're all out of luck, boss.
Zach. Deep South.
The white Gora, also known as the whirling butterfly. They certainly look just as beautiful as one. Never thought I'd ever have to pick a flower from a bathroom and deliver it to a church. But he left us no choice. Did he, Zach? God himself commanded us to carry out this very act. Therefore, I'm simply doing as I'm told. My own will has nothing to do with it. We never get to engage in adventures like these while living in the city, do we, Zach? No, the cases of the city are honestly quite boring. Who wants to fish through the garbage for a missing corpse's genitals? Or chase a stray bullet that got lodged into a moving taxi? Talk about stupid. And usually, it's all just a formality so that we can accuse a criminal who's been obviously guilty since day one. If I have to search for something, I'd much rather search for something out here. It's just so much more dramatic. This is the countryside, and it's sensational. You know what I mean, don't you, Zach? I sincerely hope this is the last of God's divine errands.
That makes two of us.
Heavenly. Truly heavenly.
He threw away all the Spam, the red beans, and the spinach. I don't believe this. All this time, he was only after the cans?
Shh, be quiet, Agent York. He's doing holy work. Just be quiet and watch.
What a fragrant pressed flower. Thank you for this blessing, O Lord.
Yes, Zach. As fragrant as a urinal cake.
Shh! Behold! It is finished! Our Lord is enraptured. Take this, my lambs, and let it serve you.
Just take it, Agent York. Folks say Pastor Sanders' instruments have special powers.
Special powers?
Yes, it is the truth, my lost lambs. Have faith. The Lord guides me to create the perfect instrument for each citizen of our town.
Each instrument's effects differ by person, too.
In your case, you were blessed with 3 drums and a special flower. This is the will of the Lord. You must accept it and have faith. If you ever find yourself lost again, return to me at any time.
Patty, I'm curious. Do you have an instrument, too?
Huh? Me? Of course not. Why would I ever want one of those stupid things? I'm fine just watching you adults play your silly little games.
Zach, the pressed flower we took from the bathroom ended up coming straight back to us.
Hey, Agent York, what's next?
Fear not, Patty. Our next stop is that stylish woman's house. Her name is Helena Doman, and apparently she lives in this town.
What? You want to go meet her?
You know her?
Yeah. Everyone calls her Lena. Hey, how'd you figure out her name anyway? No one told you, right?
That's true. No one told me, verbally. By pure chance, Zach and I happened to acquire this. We picked it up from the ground while the pastor was busy crying. Patty, this is a prescription for a female hormone medication, which means this person is undergoing hormone treatment. Understand? It's the Oracle. This is the ticket to the goddess that we were meant to find at the White Hall. I just remembered something that Melvin said to me in the holding cell. Professor R isn't exactly a normal woman, according to him. Now it all makes sense, Patty. Lena Doman is the stylish woman we've been searching for. Professor R, in the flesh.
You know, Agent York, you might actually have some talent after all.
Yes, I'll be honest with you, Patty. Both Zach and I are extremely talented. So I hope you can trust us and continue working as our assistant. The address on the prescription led us to this house.
Seems like she ain't home. No lights on either. Professor R's never home, you know.
Patty, why do you know so much about Professor R?
I don't know that much, really.
But you're the first person in town who mentioned her name to me. You also knew about San Rouge, didn't you? And when I tried to ask you more about it back then, you gave me an evasive answer. You're my assistant, aren't you? If you are, then you need to tell me everything you know about this case.
Daddy don't like Lena. He said it's stupid for a man to want to turn into a woman.
What?
And he told me I ain't supposed to talk about her. He said that if you knew someone like her was living here, Agent York, you'd start to hate this town.
That's ridiculous. Why would I ever hate this town? Because one of its inhabitants is transgender? Why in the world would that make a difference to me?
The other folks in town said the same thing as Daddy. They all know about Saint Rouge and Professor R. And about how she's waging war against the Clarksons. But they all say we ain't supposed to talk about it. So
And here I'd assumed that ignorant way of thinking died out with the 20th century. I guess I really am an outsider after all. I thought that everyone was cooperating with my investigation, but it turns out they were all hiding key information from me. Damn it, Zach. This just made me hate the countryside for the first time in my entire life. Oh, I'm sorry for being so loud, Patricia. But just remember this. Person's birthplace, nature, race, and physical features have no bearing on their value as a human being. We're always free, and we should respect each other just the way we are. So you shouldn't feel a need to hate Lena for no reason. No matter what the people around you say, you can't let them control you. Sometimes things like common sense and decency can end up deeply hurting other people. I sincerely hope you don't forget that.
Okay, I won't.
But if Lena's committed a crime, that's a different story altogether. She may be a social minority, but she's still free and capable of knowing the difference between right and wrong. Professor R. I sincerely hope she's smart enough to understand that.
Listen to the two ends and drink dry the firewater. Do this, and you will see the other world.
Zach, did you hear that? It's another oracle. I assume this means we're getting closer to the truth. Well, this is good. We don't have any other big clues at the moment. What do you say we continue the skeletal gentleman's game? After I spent the 90s listening to nothing but punk rock, I fell out of touch with music. But the digital audio player I received last Christmas changed everything. Nowadays, people can walk around with thousands of songs in their pockets. You following me here, Zach? That's right. This oracle is connected to music. The two ends refer to neither periods nor a movie's credits. They refer to the last letter of the alphabet, Z. And what's a word that has two Z's in it? Jazz, of course. Remember, we're in Louisiana here. The firewater is even easier. It's alcohol. Let's go to that jazz bar and have a drink while we consider our next plan of action. Don't worry, this is all part of our job, isn't it, Zach?
Lucari Tiger to DC Eagle. Lucari Tiger to DC Eagle. Come in.
Oh, Daddy.
DC Eagle here. Got any news for me?
Well, Mr. York, we got ourselves a bit of a problem here.
What sort of problem?
Looks like Daniel's gathered up a group of people to help him find Galina's killer on his own. If the Clarksons get serious, they'll probably put an end to this case before we even know what hit us. And it sure won't be wrapped up the way you want it to, Mr. York.
Yes, that certainly is a problem. Judging from Daniel's temperament, things are bound to get out of control. Melvin, I need to find Professor R as soon as possible.
Professor R?
That's right.
That ain't such a good idea.
I didn't ask for your personal opinion, Melvin. Especially if it comes from an antiquated, xenophobic way of thinking that's characteristic of rural towns.
Whoa now, Mr. York. What's going on here? I didn't...
This conversation is over, Melvin. You need to figure out what the Clarksons are planning. Call me again as soon as you know.
Fine. Whatever you say.
Also, sorry, but would you mind coming to pick up Patricia? I would never think to take an innocent girl like her into an adult watering hole.
Yeah, you're right. CLG's still too young for that.
Wait, Daddy! Agent York! I'm going too! Don't leave me out of this!
No, Patricia. You signed a contract with me, remember? I promise to protect you from all the evil in our world.
That's not what it means!
Patty, you're smart. Shockingly so. But you're still a child. And there are certain things a child like you doesn't need to learn about yet. Just go home for today. Zach and I are both in agreement on this one. I'm so glad you understand, Patty. Okay, Melvin, that's that. I'm leaving her here. The rest is in your hands.
Roger that. I'll take care of her, Mr. York.
Look, Zach. That seat is beckoning us. Listen to the two ends and drink dry the fire water. Do this, and you will see the other world. Hungan's oracle pointed us to this bar. So we must have to do something here. But I feel like the fire water part is missing something. Zach, do you see that? It's a gigantic go sign. I think someone's trying to send us a very powerful message here. That settles it. This must be a singularity. Beautiful lipstick. The color red suits you.
Thank you. Red is the color of life. No human who knows the joy of life would ever hate this color. Or would they?
Maybe. Maybe not. But I know of a drug with a red color that certainly doesn't signify life. It sometimes even steals the lives of those who drown themselves in it. Catch my drift?
Before a candle's flame burns out, it burns brighter than ever before, blazing like a shining red star. Don't you think that instant is more valuable than a century of smoldering?
That blaze doesn't cast out the darkness. It only emphasizes it. But where are my manners? I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Let me get straight to the point. You were present when Lise Clarkson was murdered. And you were also involved with Galena Clarkson's death. Correct?
Agent Morgan, are you a man who can hold his liquor?
I'd love some firewater.
We're similar. You and I.
Really? I don't see the resemblance.
Well, you should. Look deeper. Think about who you were when you were first born, and who you are now. Different selves exist inside your body.
Are you talking about Zach?
I was born as a man, but in my heart, I wasn't so. And this is a small town. I experienced far more scorn and discrimination than anyone could ever imagine. Especially from my father. Parents are supposed to raise their children with love. That's the norm, right? Not for me. I was raised by my father's flesh-seething hatred.
So you ran away from home, started making drugs, then seduced a young life and destroyed it? That story makes no sense to me. Think about it. They didn't burn you in a witch hunt, nor did they ever try to take your life. Yet here you are, letting your selfish fantasies drive you to torch the entire town with vengeful fire. Why did you abandon your inheritance only to end up in a place like this? What do you hope to achieve?
You've already figured out that much. Leonard doesn't exist anymore. He disappeared from me a long time ago. All that's left now is the Red Soul.
The Red Soul?
The Red Soul gives me strength and courage. And I vowed to use that strength to change this world. The Red Soul has the power to amplify the unique characteristics we all possess. Mentally and physically. That's why I created the Holy Red Powder. So that everyone can enjoy its divine benefits.
That's ridiculous.
Our world is home to scarier monsters than violence and prejudice.
Ugh. Zach.
Someday, even your best friend will abandon you.
No. Never.
And in the end, you'll be all alone.
Zach and I will always be together.
I can't find Mommy either! Don't leave me alone! Please? Please, Daddy. Please, Daddy.
Oh. She got us, Zach. She spiked the drink with some sort of sleeping pill. No wonder they call her the Professor. Whew. But that was a rash move. Perhaps she realized that she's finally crossed the point of no return. Or... We need to head to the Clarksons at once before it's too late. We can still stop this. Zach, it's a singularity. The Oracle was right on the mark. The mouth to the other world is open, ready to swallow us alive. I think this case is finally starting to come together. Here we go again, Zach. You're as excited as I am, aren't you? You don't have to explain everything. No need for words right now. Not while this eccentric, provocative experience is begging us to come inside. Zach, do you feel it? Something happened here. It's the same feeling I got when we entered the place where Lise died. Professor R, Lena, came in here alone. It looks like nothing but a suicide attempt to me. Did she have some trick up her sleeve? Philip J. Clarkson, the horrible father that Professor R spoke of. Of course, he looks perfectly calm. It's hard to believe that it's only my second time seeing him. He's an overwhelming man, Zach.
Now you decide to come back, huh? What for? I know you've been hiding from me, planning God knows what. Too bad it ain't gonna amount to anything. It don't matter what you do. The Clarkson family is already on its last legs. After only a single century, we're on the verge of losing all that power our ancestors built up for us. Ever since the day you left home, that was the beginning of the end.
They certainly look a little rough around the edges. Perhaps we should just call them the Clarkson Gang. They're holding their weapons like total amateurs, which means they must not have had any formal training. Even if they came rushing in all at once, they'd still be no match for us. Maybe the Clarksons aren't as fearsome as the rumors make them out to be. Or perhaps they've fallen into such a decline that they can't even manage their own allies any longer.
Yes, I abandoned my family. But that has nothing to do with the Clarksons' downfall. It's much more complicated than that.
Oh, I agree. It's a hell of a lot more complicated. Just look at these assholes. They're so goddamn stupid. They won't even shit unless I tell them to do it. And you know what? Back in the old days, that was A-okay. Don't like someone? Beat the piss out of them. Need something? Steal it from the sucker next door. Life was so much simpler back then. And time flowed in proper accordance with human behavior. But now... it's all so complicated now. Everything's changed.
That face, Zach. She looks so calm and collected. Perhaps she intended to take her own life after she murdered Philip. But that wouldn't solve anything. We know how calculating she is. Surely she must have understood that.
The legacy of the Clarksons is like a candle in the wind, a sad vestige of what it used to be. But it's not completely dead yet.
So what? You came here to snuff it out yourself?
Oh, no. I didn't come to snuff anything out. I came to make it burn red once more.
What in hell is with you? Did that red powder finally make you lose your mind?
Zach, that's a miniature bomb. Lena must have set it here. Is this her trump card? It looks pretty elaborate. Another accolade for the professor. She also displayed expert precision when she used that fire to make my cocktail. Her wisdom gave birth to San Rouge. She must also have an advanced understanding of chemistry. I just hope she hasn't laid any other traps for us up ahead.
Just like you said, times have changed. You've gotten old. Your power is waning. But I'm not going to let things end here. After you and all the old tumors die, the goddess will take control of Lucare, and all of Louisiana for that matter. The goddess of fertility, with all her newfound might.
And who's that supposed to be? You? Ha! That's a good one. You know, you're just as dumb as everyone else. You never see things for how they really are. Oh, no. Here, go on. Take my life. You can have it. Do whatever you want with me. But don't you forget. That's Clarkson blood you got running through those veins. Oh, you took the long way to it. But it looks like you be inheriting our legacy after all. Just like I always wanted you to.
Oh, I won't be inheriting anything.
What?
I'm not the goddess of fertility either.
Well, then...
But I'm still powerful.
Professor R fought hard in this hall. And the last gunshot we heard sounded ominous, Zach. Everything she says seems to hint at some deeper meaning. The goddess of fertility taking over all of Louisiana with her newfound power? The details elude me, but she's clearly plotting something big. But if she dies here, she'll never be able to complete it. Why risk it then? Oh well. Let's continue on, Zach. I'm sure we'll find the answer once we reach the inner sanctum. Now this is a surprise. Zach.
You're surprised. This is my house. And I can set foot wherever I please within my own house. Or is that against the law now, too, FBI?
Where's Professor R? I know she came here.
100 years ago, my father, Isaac Clarkson, came to this town and subjugated its people with his might. In time, he created an empire that put the entire southwest region of Louisiana right in the palm of his hand. Whenever any of his kin betrayed him, he'd cut 'em limb from limb and make an example of 'em. The shadows need a way of keeping the balance, too, you see. That's why the severed roots exist. Sometimes they chop a fella's ears off, maybe scoop his eyes out. Then they chop off all the limbs. Either way, they all ended up looking the same in the end. No different from mixing up the ingredients in your food. This is sick. Why would any soul ever need to line up the stumps all neat like this? What's happening in Lucari right now ain't right. It ain't nothing like what we got up to back in my day. You know, kinda feels like what you call pure evil. I'll be real honest here. Right now, I'm afraid. The evil that's taking this era by the balls is trying to gobble up Lucari too. Francis York Morgan, you FBI son of a bitch. Just what in hell did you come to this town for?
Well, I hate to rain on your sensational parade of a monologue, but my answer is simple. I came here chasing a drug called Sang Rouge that's been steadily permeating the southern states. And I plan to arrest all the perpetrators involved in the name of justice.
Oh, you sure sound like a devil, all right.
So be it. You're free to interpret my words any way you like.
Well, interpret this. You've come here to bring death and destruction to our town, or my name isn't P.J. Clarkson. You leave a mountain of corpses in your wake. So go on and suffer in the name of justice or whatever you want to call it.
Zach, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to prove that we fight on the side of justice. But why was Philip here in the first place? I thought we were inside her mind. No need to answer, Zach. The only reason this world's so fun is because of all the mysteries it holds.
I grew up in this room. As my back broke under all my father's expectations.
Your cocktail was delicious. So delicious, in fact, that it carried me off into a dream. Huh. Professor R., what did you hope to achieve by coming back to this house? I don't believe for a moment that you'd ever risk your life just to get revenge on your father.
Leonard Clarkson. That was my name when I lived here. Everyone called me Lenny. My father taught me all sorts of things so that I would grow up to become a proper heir. How to manipulate people. How to properly use tools such as violence and rewards. But I could never bring myself to care about any of it.
You left this place in order to find your true self. But what did that achieve? In the end, you fell back into Lucare. And now you spend your time selling the new drug you created, preying on the weak. You and the Clarksons are exactly alike in that regard. No, you choose your victims indiscriminately, which makes you even uglier.
Some people find joy in ruining themselves, offering up their lives to whatever they worship. This cycle has repeated itself since long ago. To me, it's the most noble of actions. Surely you must agree, Agent Morgan.
Stop trying to rationalize your crimes with that dramatic gibberish. Vicissitudo, the Latin word used to describe a fluctuation between two polar opposites. Galena's body wasn't a declaration of war. It was this, wasn't it? Those severed roots were fakes. Who did you force to kill Galena?
I can't believe you figured out that much. You're dangerous.
What you're talking about is true madness, not some noble fairy tale.
You're going to shoot me. Okay. Go ahead and shoot. Come on! Shoot me! The Clarkson bloodline is cursed. It needs purification. A blood purge!
Zach, here it is again. A red tree and a translucent cocoon. I think we've reached the core.
The goddess of fertility will descend into Lucare, and then the sweet fruit will be ours. Destruction is the first step to creation. Lisa's death sent everything into motion. There's no stopping it now. Her death proved how determined I am, how dedicated I am. To all who trust in me, Galena and Lise, their deaths were not in vain. They led us to the harvest. The Clarkson blood curse will be washed away. Life must be sacrificed. Blood purge. Blood purge. Blood. Blood. I need blood! Galena and Lise, they're both dead. I can't turn back now! The Red Soul can't die here. You can't erase it! Blood Purge! The Blood Purge! We will create a new world! A new generation! The blood must be purified!
That's the true self you worked so hard to find. I'm sorry, Lena. I gave you far more credit than I ever should have.
The Clarksons have always been the chosen ones, proud souls, divine life-given form. But at some point, that blood became tainted. So I decided to reset it. I need to purify this corrupt blood for the one I love most. After I left home, I met the Red Soul and acquired a guide. And so I created the red powder and became an apostle for the red magic. The red powder transforms the body from within. It creates empowered souls, and mature souls are the greatest offering one can present to the goddess. Lise and Galena didn't lose their minds. They both died with honor.
Died with honor? Just how deluded are you? You dismembered them and strung up their bodies in the name of vapid symbolism. Where's the honor in that? So what if they said they wanted to die? Cultists have been saying that for centuries.
Silence! You will impede us no longer. You're always so smug. Oh, how I hate you. This is the last you'll ever see of my plan. Now die! This is true immolation! No one can stop my plan. This can't be happening. I'm supposed to be invincible. Back to dust you go! If you kill me, no one will be left to tell you about the plan. No. How could I lose? But it's too late. No one can stop my plan. Now, not even me. Red Tree!
Lena, let go. I'm going to count to 3. Then you're going to get down on the ground and put your hands behind your head. Got it?
See this? If I let go, the bomb in the fireplace will explode.
Do something smart for once, Lena. Detonating that bomb won't solve anything.
You're wrong, Agent Morgan. It'll give me the ending I've always dreamed of.
Leonard, you're wrong. Killing me won't bring back our family's prosperity.
No! I know I'm right!
You never change. Once you make up your mind, that single idea possesses you. It's almost like you're cursing yourself. Oh, my always holding on to all your pain.
No! You're the one who's wrong!
When you first told me about the disparity between your mind and your body, I didn't know how to love you.
Stop it! I don't want to hear this!
But I always knew from the very start.
Stop talking!
There was something special inside you. I also know that you had any cause with your older sister. Your own flesh and blood.
Shut up!
I just didn't know how to treat you. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Stop. Please.
I never, ever hated you. I always loved you. From the bottom of my...
I said shut up.
Don't, Lena!
This is necessary. All of the corrupt blood must die. The Clarksons' blood must be purged. Then, the purity that's left behind can rebuild the Clarksons' legacy.
Is that the goddess of fertility?
Go and see her with your own eyes. You're an FBI special agent. Surely you can find her No one can stop my plan now. Not even me.
No, stop!
Patricia Clarkson.
Paul! Oh, Paul! Oh my God!
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Agent York? Can you hear me?
What is it, Patty? Where's Melvin?
Well, I don't know. He won't answer me, and he ain't at the sheriff's office either. What should I do? You think he got caught up in some kind of trouble?
Oh, shit! I got nothing now. I can't. Patty, I need someone at the Clarkson's house ASAP. I don't care who you send. They can also ask Daniel Clarkson about the details once they get here. And you should also call an ambulance, just in case. Got it?
Huh? Sure.
I'm going to head straight over to the sheriff's office, Patty. Let's meet up there. Did you find Melvin?
Nope. I can't find either of them.
Either of them?
Yeah. When I went home, it wasn't just my daddy who was missing. Mama was gone too. This never happened before.
Zach, we need to stop Professor R's plan no matter what it takes. Relax, Patty. You don't need to worry about a thing. I'm sure that Melvin just stumbled across an important clue that's stolen his attention for now. And I'm sure he's protecting your mother while he's at it. Let's just leave the investigation to the local police and rest for today. I need to prepare a report for the HQ anyway. How about staying with me in my room until we find them?
But...
You don't need to worry. I can't make you any homemade food, but I've got a first-class chef and a first-class concierge at my disposal. Oh, and a very affable bellboy. It's a lot of fun at that hotel.
But... Okay, I guess. Thanks, Agent York.
You're a lady, so you take the bed. Zach and I will be fine on the couch.
Zach, the Clarkson family tree is nothing like we thought it was. We need to reorganize everything we've uncovered so far. She was so tired she fell right to sleep. Hey, Zach. I'm in a very difficult spot right now. I feel like this case is heading in a direction that will be extremely unpleasant for her. I've never felt anything like this during any of our cases thus far. First, let's go back to the beginning. Lise Clarkson's body was found hanging under a bridge over the bayou, in a deserted spot close to where the bayou meets the Mississippi. The one who fired the pistol at Heaven surely had no idea what he would find there. Speaking of which, Zach, Chuck, the man who started this race we're running, what's his occupation? That's right. He's a crawfish farmer. And after chasing a poacher's boat that crossed over into his farmland, he went up the bayou and was fortunate enough to find Lisa's body. I doubt it was a very pleasant experience for him. But if not for his discovery, Lisa's body might have started rotting out there. He's a difficult person to be sure, but I don't think he's a bad guy. Chuck said something peculiar. He claimed the Clarksons were a little better when their son was still around. I don't know exactly what he meant, but we ended up meeting the person he was talking about, didn't we? Under very unexpected circumstances. Leonard Clarkson. He ran away from home, found his true self, then changed names. So, Zach, do you remember her name? Helena Doman. The townspeople call her Lena. She was also known as Professor R while she plotted against the Clarksons. She's the mother of the new drug known as Sang Rouge. She must have also had a group of followers who worshipped her fanatically. I can see it now. Lena sprinkling down the red powder, corrupting every last pure and innocent girl in town. Lena mentioned her plan each time we met. She must have taken us for utter fools, Zach. She thought she was always one step ahead of us, and that we'd never see the full scope of her plan. Well, her plan isn't complete yet, and I know we can still stop it. That's why we need to learn all we can about her. Her alias was Professor R, and she was well learned in the areas of medicine and fire dynamics. By the way, Zach, do you remember what weapon Lena used to murder PJ? Correct. She used a miniature bomb. To tell you the truth, she surprised me. That bomb was so well placed. It left hardly any damage on the building itself, yet still did amazing work on them. Lena should have used that brain of hers for something more productive than that saga of revenge. For example, reviving Lucare's economy from the industrial sector. Widen your perspective, and you'll see that Louisiana is an industrial treasure trove. With her intelligence and her charisma, I'm sure she would have found some amazing opportunities. Such a tragedy. Zach, there's one more important matter we need to think about here. Galena Clarkson, who was murdered in jail. Her body was dismembered, then rearranged into a V shape. Patty and Melvin claimed it was a severed roots killing. But that doesn't make sense to me. And PJ Clarkson disapproved of it when I met him in the other world. He saw Galena's parts lined up and was overcome by an inexplicable fear. Tell me, who killed Galena? Unfortunately, we don't have the answer to this one yet. And it's too big a problem to solve with mere speculation. The answer to this question may lead to a major turning point for this case, and the final turning point for this story. You know it's true, Zach. I only hope it doesn't push us down an avenue we didn't plan on exploring. Hey, Zach. Do you remember PJ's last words? Lena had intercourse with her older sister. Her own flesh and blood. This means there's still one more person out there who inherited PJ's blood.
Oh, fucking poachers, now I gotcha. Caught you red-handed.